recording. Thank you for using GTL.
Hello?
Hey, Carlos.
Hey, what's up, Will? Hey, sorry about that.
It's fine. So, you ready?
What's been going on? Huh?
So, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready, but, what I wanted to do is, do something a little different.
Okay.
So, I'm gonna go ahead and start with this, and I want to tell everybody who may be listening that instead of getting right back into the story, which I really want everybody to know, you may remember where I left off, but I really need to get this out there, and I'm going to jump right into the allegation because I've recently filed some paperwork in the courts, and I need your guys' help with this. So all those people who kind of know what's going on with my situation, who have been willing to help promote my innocence, this is the time. So this is what happened. In 2007, March of 2007, I left my home with my wife, Jennifer Hart. You've heard the name in the past. And when I left the home, I left because things were getting to a point where we could no longer deal with each other anymore. And things were to the point where it would have been far worse for me to stay than it would have been for me to go. A couple of days after I left, I tried to see my daughter. She wouldn't let me see my daughter. And there was some arguing going on. So she kept refusing to let me see my daughter. I threatened to take her to court about my child. Not only did I threaten to take her to court about my child, but she was also in another custody battle with her first daughter, Mariah's father, who lived in California. Well, there had been a lot of things going on. I had supported her, backed all of the lies that she was telling the California courts, backed all of the lies that she was telling Mike, which is Mariah's dad, about things that were going on in the house. She had a serious drug problem, a serious alcohol problem. She was stealing from work. She was stealing from her own daughter, Mariah, neglecting the kids, leaving them unattended overnight, all night, when I wasn't around at times. And things just got out of control, and I had to get out of there. Well, when I made this threat to her, she told me that this would never happen. She'd see me in prison for the rest of my life. And when I asked her what she meant by that, she told me that she was going to accuse me of molesting her daughter as well as mine. It really freaked me out. I couldn't believe this. I was standing in my brother's front room in Wickham, and I freaked out. I panicked. So what I did after she accused me of this was, or what she said she was going to accuse me of, is I went and told my family what had happened. Nobody believed that she would ever really do this. But like I said, a couple days later, I called her daughter Mariah's father in California and told him what I was willing to do because Jen continued these, refusing to let me see my daughter, refusing to let me talk to my daughter, and things were getting ugly. So I called him and let him know that I was finally willing to help him with everything that he had going on the custody issue, and I would get on the stand and testify to all the things that Jen was doing. Her stealing, her fraud on the court, her fraud for the FBI, Family Independence Agency, her neglect of the children, her drug and alcohol problems. I was going to put it all out there. And this was done on a phone call. Little did I know that he had made this call, a three-way phone call, so Jennifer had heard everything. And she burst into the conversation, told me that I was busted, and I also heard Mariah's voice. And this is a kid who I loved, somebody I promised that I would never allow to go back to her dad. And here she is, listening in on this phone call, hearing me say that I would help this guy get her back. And she broke into the phone conversation telling me that she hated me. She couldn't believe that I had done this to her. Her exact words were, "I hate you. I effing hate you. I can't believe you did this to me." And I was in total shock. I didn't know what to do because this guy had just set me up. And it was only a matter of days after that that the allegations began. She started blowing up my phone, telling me that she was going to accuse me of molesting the girls, and it just went crazy. Over a year went by and nothing ever happened with this. She never went to the police. I figured it was just one of her drunken rages, and as frightening as it is to be accused of something like that, I still had this thing inside of me that said that she would never do something like this to me. And if she did do something like this, there was no way they could prove anything. Well, she did finally do something like this. I ended up getting a year in the Oakland County Work Release Program for a stabbing incident that took place at one of my buddy's house. Prior to me getting out of that work release program, I had contacted her, it was probably on Valentine's Day of 2008, and let her know that she needed to be assured that once I was released from the county work release program, I was still coming to get my daughter. Well, then she renewed her threats again. And every time she'd get mad at me over the course of the past year, she would always renew these threats. really thought much of it, but it still worried me and scared me because she's kind of a wild person, and she's subject to do things like that. Well, I came back from work about a month later, and they arrested me. They took me from the work release program, cuffed me up, took me to the main jail, and told me that I had to stay there because they had received a phone call stating that I wasn't at the job site where I was supposed to be. The next day, Child Protective Services came to see me and told me that I was being accused of child molestation, and it was against her daughter, Mariah, who at the time now was 15. This was supposed to have happened in 2004 and 2005. This is now 2008. So my mind was absolutely just blown. I mean, she had been telling me she was going to do this for over a year, but here she was actually doing it. And even though I knew what I was being accused of, I never really knew what the details were until I actually went to court. Well, over the process of them taking me to the main jail and accusing me with this, they did an investigation that lasted several months. I thought the investigation was cleared up because they cleared me to return back to work release program after they had put me in minimum work release program or work camp. I refused to go back to work release because I had a feeling that if I did this, she would make another phone call, make another false allegation. So I thought these allegations had been cleared up, that they did what they needed to do, talked to who they needed to talk to, and it was over with. Well, like I said, several months had passed. They wake me up at 2 o'clock in the morning, take me to the Novi court, and arraigned me on multiple counts of criminal sexual conduct against a minor, and it was against her daughter. And again, I knew what I was being accused and charged with, but I didn't know the details until I actually got to court. And they were gruesome. The things that I was being accused of doing were just horrible, and I don't want to repeat them right now, but it's available if anybody wants to know what the allegations are. Just imagine you're being charged with sex crimes against a child. That should be enough right there. But none of these things happened. I literally argued with these people for months and months and months that I hadn't done this. These allegations were something that were real. I didn't commit this. She was angry at me because I was threatening to get custody of my child. I was helping her ex potentially get custody of his child. I threatened to report her for stealing, lying to her courts, defrauding the Family Independence Agency. I mean, there was just a multitude of things going on. This was a case that there was no DNA evidence, no eyewitnesses, no medical evidence. They never even did a medical examination on Mariah. So, in the medical exam that they did do on her was in 2008, so years after this, and they showed no history of any sexual intercourse, but this was never presented to the jury. So the reason I'm telling you guys this now is because now is the time for the people who said that they believed in my innocence, who have read some of my case law, who have read some of my Court of Appeals opinions, and dug into the transcripts and the police reports. I need your help now. If you're serious, now you need to write the judge. The judge is Denise Langford Morris at the Oakland County Circuit Court. I've posted some of this information on my Facebook page. But if you believe in me, you need to write the judge and let the judge know you believe in me and why. Again, ask questions. Why wasn't there any evidence presented? Why was there no medical examination done? Why didn't they admit the medical examination from something else? Why there's so many things that were wrong. So you guys need to help. For people who believe in me, this is the time. Without you, and without you letting the judge know that you believe in my innocence and why you believe in that innocence, this is going to be a really hard battle. But your help could bring public attention to the judge's attention. And I truly believe that if the judge sees that there's a public outcry here, there's a really good chance she's going to have to look into this thing, because in the past everything's been rubber stamped. So those are the allegations. Those are the extreme details. I didn't get that deep with it, but you guys needed to know what was going on and what's going on. I filed a recent motion in the Oakland County Courts that was received by them on the 13th of March. I was requesting a new trial based on newly discovered evidence of a police report that was conducted a year prior to me being arrested. It's involving the same type of allegations that involve somebody else who just happened to be the state star witness in this trial, but that was never mentioned to me. It also involved the state's lead detective in this current charge, and he never made mention of this past investigation either. And in that investigation, the police reports and everything will be sent to be posted on Facebook, but that police report showed that there was no crime committed. And like I said, it's similar in nature, and there was testimony at trial given about the same exact thing. So for those of you who want to know more, this is it. This is it right here. This is probably one of the last shots I have at trying to get out of here at a state court level. So I need you guys, and that's where we are. And I'll pick the story back up when the time is right. But this message needs to get out. So for those of you who are willing and able to contact the courts and write the judge and speak up for my innocence, please do so now. This is really important. And that's about it for right now, Case.
Alright, Carlos. So here are some questions that we didn't know if you guys wanted to ask or not, and we didn't really, get out to you in time. So, hey, Carlos, how long have you been incarcerated for?
Now I'm going on 10 years now. June will be 10 years, but it won't be for this crime. I was already incarcerated on another crime when I was arrested for this. So it'll be actually March of 2008 was when I was officially arrested for this charge.
Alright. Let me think. Why do you think you have been unsuccessful in being granted an appeal?
Why do I think I have been unsuccessful?
Yeah.
I believe a big part of it is because I haven't had lawyers willing to represent me. Most of the stuff that I've done in the Court of Appeals and any other court has been on my own. And then I've had two lawyers that were appointed to represent, or one that was appointed to represent me, who literally abandoned my case. I filed a grievance against him, and because of the way he handled my case, he was disbarred and suspended and disbarred. But yet the courts above still felt that I had effective assistance of counsel. So my main argument is because I had ineffective assistance of counsel at trial and ineffective assistance of counsel on appeal. My family actually hired one lawyer for thousands of dollars, and come to find out he wasn't even a licensed lawyer in the state of Michigan. So he got disbarred and suspended too. So most of the stuff that I was doing on my own, and learning as I went. But I believe a big part of it was because of ineffective assistance of counsel.
Alright. So, Jennifer created this allegation with Mariah, and Mariah went along with it and everything like that. Why do you think they did that?
Honestly, I can only speak as to why I believe they did it because I don't know for sure. Anything that I have on this is purely speculation. But I believe a big part of it wasn't just the fact that I was going to help get Mariah sent back to her father's in a bitter custody battle that had been going on for years, but Jennifer herself would have been exposed. And I think this is more about Jen than it is about Mariah. Jen was worried about being exposed for who she really was. I mean, in the public view, she used to put forth this picturesque image of who she was. You know, she's this prim and proper girl. You know, she's very well spoken and the sweetest little thing in the world. And to look at her, that's what he would believe. But I was about to expose her as a person who was a drug abuser, an alcohol abuser, a thief, a liar. She was not a good mother by any stretch of the imagination. She was manipulative, lying to the courts. She had multiple affairs while we were married, and she didn't want that image to get out there. And the things that she was doing could have got her put in prison as well, and I think she was worried about that image being exposed and possibly going to jail herself. That's what I believe. And I think that Mariah supported this because she heard me literally getting ready to hand her over to the devil. Mariah had been told her whole life that this guy was a loser, a bad man, a horrible person. He didn't pay his child support. He this, he that. I mean, it was horrible. But many of the things that
You have 1 minute remaining.
many of the things that he was accused of doing, I witnessed contrary. Like Jen would say that he never sent child support checks, but I was there when she would receive those checks in cash and to spend the money on alcohol. So there was a lot going on. I may have to call you right back so we can finish this conversation, but if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah, you can call us back. We'll wait, and then we'll continue on. But real quick before you go,
Yeah.
in the end, what would you do differently?
You know, see, I'm not real sure what you mean in the end differently. What would I do differently as regards? When I call you back, readdress that question, and then, because I want to know what you mean by what I would do differently. Are you talking about how I handled the allegations, or, You know what I'm saying? Let me call you back.
All right. We'll be right back, Carlos.
All right.
And subject to
All right, we're back. He's answering right
Thank
now.
you for using GTL.
Hello?
All right, hey, Carlos. So to rephrase that question for you, it was kind of coming to the point where when you look back at your trial, like, what are things you think that you could have done differently to, like, change, to get a better verdict than you, came out with?
Well, when it comes to the trial itself, I probably would have asked to either represent myself or be a little more vocal in my defense. Because there were things going on in trial, like I said, testimony that was being presented that was just total fabrication, and I probably should have spoke up. You know, and the judge would have said, hey, you got a lawyer, let your lawyer speak, but at least something would have been on the record then to show that I was in opposition to this stuff. Because my lawyer didn't do anything. She didn't object to almost anything that was done. I mean, there was evidence that we had that should have been presented that wasn't presented. Medical reports dealing with Mariah that should have been presented that weren't presented. There was physical evidence on my part regarding tattoos and birthmarks that should have been presented that was never presented. There were things that Mariah herself had said at a prior hearing that should have been addressed that were never addressed. There was just a ton of stuff that wasn't presented. Evidence in support of my innocence that was never presented. And if I could do things differently, I would have made a point to make sure that that evidence was presented, you know, so a jury could see it or hear it. I mean, one of the witnesses at my trial that would have been called and was in fact called, but the court removed the jury from the courtroom for this person's testimony, and for reasons I can't fathom why they would do that, because my whole theory of the case was that this story was fabricated, and that Jennifer was the mastermind of this fabrication, and that Mariah supported this fabrication. Well, one of my witnesses testified outside the presence of the jury that 2 weeks prior to trial, that Jennifer had actually called her house. Jennifer called my mother's house and asked my mother to have me call her, to call Jennifer. The reason she wanted me to call Jennifer, or Jennifer wanted me to call her, was because she wanted me to admit to an affair that I wouldn't admit to. And I wouldn't admit to this affair because this affair never took place. Which, this is all crazy, because here I am being accused of molesting her child, and she wants me to admit to an affair. Not about her child. She's not calling to harass or downgrade me or, you know, call me all these perverted names. She wants me to admit to an affair. Well, she went on further to ask my mother how much time I was facing. My mother told her that I was facing up to life in prison. She told my mother, verbatim, he needs to call me because I'm the only one who can save him. To me, that confirmed everything that I had been saying for the last year prior to that moment, prior to trial, that she's the one who fabricated this. Because only the person who created this story is the person who can get me out of it. And if it was Mariah's story, only Mariah could get me out of it. If it's Jennifer's story, only Jennifer could get me out of it. And there was also evidence of recantation. Jennifer, when she realized that this thing was getting really serious before it got to trial, she actually threatened to flee the country. She told her daughter she needed to stop this joke. It needs to end right now. And when she was called to, carpet on it, she threatened to leave. She threatened to go to Canada. And that's why they took her children from her. They took my daughter and her daughter away from her and gave her to my mother-in-law, then mother-in-law, Valerie, because Jen threatened to flee the country because she wanted Mariah to recant. So, I would have done a lot of things different. Part of it would have been, like I said, to have evidence presented that should have been presented and to speak up, just to speak up.
Yeah. I have a question for you. Do you think now that you're in prison, incarcerated, do you think you're trying harder to get out now than you were in the trial, or do you think you were kind of giving equal effort?
I think I'm actually trying probably equally. The thing was is I didn't really, at the time of trial, I kind of relied on a lawyer that ended up being my worst nightmare.
So you're giving yourself more responsibility?
What was that?
You're kind of putting more on yourself, less than a lawyer?
Well, now I have to, because it's been proven to me that lawyers genuinely don't have my best interests at heart. I mean, so I don't know that I think right now my attempt isn't necessarily a harder attempt because I was fighting even then. I had all the information available for the lawyers. I had all the information available for the court. I had all the information available for the police. Nobody wanted it. I still had it, but nobody wanted to present it. Nobody wanted to do anything. Right now, my fight is more a fight of desperation. Because once you are convicted of a crime, the burden of proof shifts from the state to me. Before you get convicted of a crime, it's the state who has the burden of proof to prove that you're guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. It's on them. I don't even have to present evidence. It's all on them. But when I had a ton of evidence to present that wasn't presented, that's where I believe I was harmed greatly. Now that I'm convicted, the burden of proof is on me to prove my innocence. And it's hard to do from in here when I don't have access to, law libraries. I don't have access to investigators. I can't just go knocking on doors and asking questions or picking up phones and calling people. So my fight isn't really any more or less harder. It's more desperate now than it was before.
Okay. So, the investigating detective in your case was not convinced that your accuser was believable. What did he say to you?
Well, it's funny because a couple years after the trial, after I was convicted in the Michigan Court of Appeals, I didn't think that all the evidence had been provided to me. So I wrote the detective, and I asked him, hey, listen, could you send me your file? Because I don't think I've been provided everything that was available, witness statements and things like that, investigative reports, things of that nature. Well, he sent me a letter back, and I have this letter, and I will send that if necessary to you and post it on my page. He told me in no uncertain terms that he didn't believe that Jennifer or Mariah were speaking truthfully. His exact words were that, Carlos, I had serious doubts about the credibility of Jennifer and Mariah and the allegations against you. And that he had provided the prosecution with everything that he had. And that he couldn't help me any further but wish me luck. So, and that was kind of odd too because they never called this lead detective at my trial. And I didn't understand why. Well, now I know. Because he didn't believe the allegations. And if he'd have got up there on the stand, not only would he have had to testify that, hey, during my course of my investigation, I didn't find anything that would prove this guy had committed a crime. But he would have also had to reveal that a year prior he conducted another investigation on me that involved the state's lead and star witness in this case, a girl named Marissa Latimer. That information will be posted on my Facebook page as well. But, yeah, so those are the things he told me personally, that he didn't believe the allegations.
Okay. So, going back to that last question, the question before, not this one we just said, but to the trying harder thing, do you think now that all that you, heard that your lawyer didn't really have the best interest for you and all that stuff, do you think you learned a lot from all that experience?
Well, I learned a ton. I mean, since then, it's because of the things the lawyers were doing for me that I've put myself through kind of like a law school. I mean, I've got a diploma as a paralegal legal assistant. I'm certified in criminal law procedure, advanced criminal law procedure, and that's all I do now. That's pretty much 90% of my day is legal studies and trying to get back home to my daughter. So, yeah, I guess in that way it's helped me, but, here I sit.
Alright, well, I think it's time to wrap this up, but before we do, can you just tell everybody real quick how they can help you in the long run and how they can help you with this judge and everything?
Well, what they can do is they can get involved with this case. They can read the case. They can ask people who are friends of mine, particularly Roland Steierman, to send them a copy of my brief statement. Or they can go to the courthouse themselves. This is public information, and this is all open to the public. There's nothing that isn't available to you. And if you want to go to the Oakland County Courthouse and check my case and read my file, the briefs, the transcripts, the motions, all of that, go to the county clerk. The case number is 08-221-344-uppercase F, uppercase C. And the title of the case is People of the State of Michigan versus Carlos Robert Garcia. And you can also write Judge Denise Langford Morris. She's an Oakland County Circuit Court judge. The address is 1200 North Telegraph, Pontiac, Michigan, 48341. And what you do when you write the judge is let the judge know that you know about my case. You know that evidence was withheld. You know that I'm innocent. It's a demand that this judge give my case a thorough and complete review, a fair and complete review. Explain that, hey, I've looked at this guy's file. Hey, I've read his Court of Appeals opinions. Hey, we've seen the police reports. We've seen statements of witnesses. We know about investigations that were suppressed. I mean, there's just a ton of information, and that's what people can do. They can write the judge, get involved, know and learn my case. I've got nothing to hide. The things that I've been accused of are horrible. I mean, horrible. And if I were a juror on my case, the way that this case was presented, I probably would have been the main one, leading the march to conviction. I mean, that's how horribly it was presented. That being said, I am innocent of this crime. I never committed this crime. I would never have done anything like that to even put the image in people's mind that I was capable of committing such a crime. I mean, and you have to understand too, these people offered me a 5-year plea deal. I could have been home almost 5 years ago. All I had to do was say I did this. I didn't do it. And now I may not be in prison because I will never tell these people, the parole board, the court, or anybody, that I committed a crime I didn't commit. And because of that, I'll probably die here without your guys' help. So that's what you guys can do. Get involved. This is serious, and this can happen to anybody, not just me, but there are people all over this country and in this state who are accused of things like this with absolutely no evidence. And that's what you need to question. How can somebody be accused and convicted of such a crime with absolutely no evidence? No medical evidence, DNA evidence, physical evidence, eyewitnesses, nothing. Just not a word. So that's what people can do, and that's what they need to do if they truly believe in my innocence.
All right, Carlos. Well, we love you. We hope for the best. And we're really gonna try and help you out this time. All right.
Well, I love you guys, and I appreciate everything that you guys have done for me so far. And believe it or not, it's you guys, you Case, you Tom, you Teresa, you Alex, you Luke, you Sydney, my mom, and my dad, and that close inner circle, Roland. Without you guys, this wouldn't be happening for me at all. I'd have given up a long time ago. So thank you for believing in me, and thank you for loving me, and thank you guys for keeping me strong.
And just because we're close to him and our family doesn't mean we're the only ones here. He has plenty of friends that really want him out and everything like that. So we're all here to help him. Thank you guys for listening. Carlos, we're here to help. We're hoping for the best, and we'll see you guys in the next video.